Welcome to another Angling Direct Quick Bite, where I am going out on a limb and going to say that I'm going to show you how to tie the most effective pole feeder rig there is out there. It is absolutely amazing. If you've not used this before, please give it a go. Now, I've done a full video on this, a full match master of me actually using it, demonstrating it. So after I've shown you how to tie it in this video, if you want to check that out, click the link in the description and it will show you the full video of this rig in action. It is super effective. But basically, a pole feeder is exactly what it says on the tin. It's a pole, but it's fished in a feeder style. So I've got a feeder on my pole, and as you can see, it looks quite odd sitting here because I've got a rod tip section on what is normally my pole. Okay, so it might look strange, but it's so good because you're getting the accuracy of pole fishing with the effectiveness of feeder fishing. So if you want to set it up, hopefully I can talk you through it now. And I guess you should probably break it down into two bits. You've got the pole construction and the quiver tip, and then you've got the rig. So let's start off with the pole construction. And you can see how easy this is. I haven't done anything special. This is literally my pole. So this is a short top kit. Most poles come with a short top kit now. And all I've done is I've found a feeder rod, a 9-foot feeder rod, literally slots in there like a rod would go together. That's just a spigot of a rod. It just goes over the top there. And I've now got the top section of a feeder rod on the end of my pole. Now, because normally in your pole you'd have elastic running through it, what I've done is I've run some elastic through the eyes on the feeder rod. So it's really simple to do. I've got a solid 8 elastic, so I grab that. And then I've tied on or attached a Dacron connector, but you can put whatever connector you're used to using. So if it's a normal storm flow, you can put that on there as well. Once you've done that, you thread your elastic through the eyes of your rod, like you would if you were using line. And then until you get to your last eye, where I slide over onto the elastic a large plastic bead, a bead that is big enough not to go through the end eye. And then you just tie it off, trim it, make sure it's under tension, and you end up with what I've got here, which is the top section with a bit of elastic running through it on top of my pole. Like I said, might look weird, but trust me, it's super effective. And then we come on to the rig, which is the second section of this, which again is super easy to tie, but you put everything together and you've got a wonder rig. So to tie this, simply pick yourself 0.14 is what I use. If you're fishing for a lot bigger fish, you could up that. But for here, sort of roach and skimmers, stuff that we're targeting, I use 0.14 main line. I'll slide on one rubber float stop, and then you follow that up with a quick change swivel before you slide on another float stop. So basically, you've then got a feeder or a link that you'll put your feeder on later that's running in between two float stops. And then you just need to tie a figure of 8 loop knot and trim off the tags. And it's on that figure of 8 loop knot that you attach your hook link. Now for me, hook link wise, I am extremely lazy. So I just get the pre-tied ones, the metre long ones, size 16 to 4 pound we're using in this session. And although they're a metre, on the pole feeder, I only want my hook link to be about a foot and a half maybe. So I just trim that down and then I loop to loop it on to the figure of 8 loop that you've tied. So you've then got the swivel that's run in between your two float stops and your rig attached. So all you need to do now is clip on your feeder. That's the next step. Now with pole feeders, I just use a feeder that has got the weight at the bottom because it sits nicely on this rig. You can imagine sitting on the bottom just like it is there on my hand. That's how it's sitting, and it saves any tangles. And you've got your feeder now attached to your quick change clip, and that runs in between two float stops. The next thing what you want to do is I add a second additional sight indicator. So for me, I just use the top of a normal waggler, an insert waggler. I take that off, I'll thread 2 float rubbers onto the line, and then I just fasten the top of the waggler on top of that. That's for a second indicator. So when you're fishing, you'll notice that when it swings out, you've got your float top, which is sitting just above the water. That's one indicator. And then obviously you've got your quiver tip. So when you're looking for a bite, you're looking for either that float sight to just bob under like a float, or your quiver tip to go around as if you were quiver tip fishing. So you've got 2 sight indicators. And then you just finish the rig with literally another figure of 8 loop knot, and then you attach it to your DAC1 connector. So you're all ready to go. And like I said, it is absolutely deadly. And when you see this in action, you just flick it out, hold it over top of it, put it on a bump bar, and you are literally feeder fishing with the accuracy of pole fishing. It's absolutely mega. It's well worth checking out that video that I told you about, where I go through all about how you fish it and everything like that. But that's sort of a detailed dedication of how I tie it. So we had a few people ask, how can you go through exactly how you tie it? So that's how I do it. Hopefully that's cleared a few things up. If I've scooted over anything or anything didn't quite make sense, please do let me know. But it's not that complicated. I think hopefully there I've managed to show you that you can set up very simply and you can get fishing with it as well. It's well worth giving a go. Let me know if you get out there and do it, because hopefully people are going to be as impressed with it as I am. But yeah, if you want anything that I've gone through with the tackle wise, click link in the description. That'll take you through to all the tackle that you need to do it. And good luck if you go out fishing on the pole feeder.